All right, we are live. Let's make sure that we have audio. Oh, it looks like I have audio. Audio is coming out of my computer. So fingers crossed, that is looking good. This is the first live chat or YouTube live that I've done. So learning, as always, how to navigate this world of YouTube. But I can see myself at least, and I'm going to trust that I can be heard at this point. While I'm waiting for some people to join on, what I've got behind me is the RV. This is literally the bedroom, the office, the toy hauler area that carries all the fitness gear. And there's a washer and dryer in there, a bed up here, and hey, Micah, and a desk that drops down over here, just beyond these glass doors. And what happens is what I'm sitting on is a deck, and the deck actually lifts up to close this whole section off. This is a rower right here. This is a tarp covering the fan of the rower in the event that it rains or it's dusty. I'm not going to use these this week. The bike erg is right here. This looks like a dead body. It's the ski erg. And again, I just kind of keep them covered to keep the dust out. And I also have a DeWalt blower, so I blow them out. I hate dust. It's not my friend. But what we're sitting on is this deck, and it's pretty handy. This allows us to lock the dogs in here. Lock kids in here if that was necessary. But yeah, it's a good little space. So yeah, I've got the awning out above me right here. And that's just to keep the sun off of this gear. This is $3,000 worth of machines right here. Just keep the sun off of it. So, all right. It's 8:03 Central Standard Time. I will chat for just a couple more minutes before I jump into the questions that I've gotten on Instagram and any that come in here. Today was fun. Today was really briefing day and kind of getting a feel for the behind the scenes at the CrossFit Games. This is the third time I've been here. Each time it's been the same. There's a long briefing or orientation that happens the day before typically. So that was this morning. They go over all the ground rules, how to appeal, if there's any judging errors, what you can appeal, can't appeal. We have to wear our NoBull stuff anytime we're on site there, learning all those intricacies. When it comes to competition time, we learn, what we can and can't wear, so we can wear whatever shoes we want to wear for competition. But the outfits, shirt, shorts, have to be something that was given to us by sponsors. If we wear a hat, it has to be the hat that we were given. Headband has to be the headband. Wristbands have to be the wristbands. Can't have anything other than stuff that was given to you, used out there. So even like socks, like you can't just wear random socks out there. You have to wear the socks given to you or just blank socks. Like they can't have any branding on them whatsoever. There's only 2 weight belts approved. I believe the Tupood and Rogue belts are approved. I've got a belt that says CrossFit on it if I do need to use a belt. So they'll put some tape over the word CrossFit because it's just a generic belt. We went over the workouts of the day, or the workouts for tomorrow. I'm sorry, the workouts, 3 events that are tomorrow. So we knew that we were doing a long run, deadlift, rope climb, and a snatch. We just had no idea exactly what it would be. And what was released and what they shared with us was that the run for my age group and for most of the age groups is a 4.5 mile run. And that's a solid random distance, but it's a solid run. There's apparently going to be a course that we run on that is all pavement. That's 6 laps in the stadium and out of the stadium 6 times. So that will be really cool. Hey, Adam, Vincent. Hey, guys. So yeah, that 6 laps. So it'd be kind of fun to be able to go in and kind of know what a lap time looks like. The total distance would be 4.5 miles, which is a weird distance. It's not a 10K, which is 6.2 miles. It's not a 5K, which is 3.2 miles. It's just 4.5 miles. And thankfully, I have been running a decent amount over the past few months in shorter increments, but more like a 600 meter hard, 600 meter soft, 600 meter hard kind of interval style. So I've gone some distances building over the past few months. It's been pretty cool to be ready for a run like that. And we'll recover from that. Then we go into a 5-round workout. that has one legless rope climb, 20 feet high, which is pretty tall, touch the beam, which is going to be a big reach. You pulling up there have to touch without your legs touching the rope, and then you can drop to the crash mat from there or control your drop down to the crash mat. 5 heavy deadlifts at 345 pounds. Going to be great. It's, I think, going to be fast, but also like round 3, 4, and 5, the legless rope climb is going to get challenging, really, really challenging. Totally doable, but it's me one of those things where like you're going to be gauging on round 3 or round 4, how's this rope climb going and how much do I want to rest and recover on my walk or run to the next deadlifts and back, or is it just an all-out sprint? I don't think any of us knows until we're in the middle of that workout. So I will be ready for a sprint with, maybe tapping the brakes every once in a while if necessary. I really don't know what that's going to feel like. Then we rest up and we finish the day with 6 minutes to establish a 1-rep max snatch. It doesn't get more simple and straightforward than that. It's not my favorite event. I like to work. I like grunt work, but I haven't done a max event like this at the games before. So it'll be a first-time experience for me. In 6 minutes, what can I get done? And I will set some goals for myself and some weights to hit along the way, just sort of like my opening weights to build some confidence, then another weight and another weight, and then start stretching and stretching and stretching and try to hit a specific number that I've got in my head, which will be good. It's not the winning weight for that event. There's some really heavy lifters, and that's fine. We've got 7 events, and you don't have to win them all to do well. So I'm excited for all 7 events. All right, let's jump into some of the questions that are coming up since this is a Q&A. So I'll see what you guys have brought to the table here. I'm just going to take a look on this chat here. Mauricio, for someone who's wanting to compete as a master, what would you say should be the base number for back squat, front, clean, and snatch? Ooh, men, 40 to 44. Great question. To get to the games, to be in the top 20, I think the back squat needs to be 400, front squat 350, clean and jerk 300, snatch 225. I'm sorry, those are all in pounds. I don't know what that would be in kilograms except 100 kilogram snatch. This is all I know. But yeah, I'd say at least a 400-pound back squat, at least a 350-pound front squat, at least a 300-pound clean and jerk, at least a 225-pound snatch for 40 to 44-year-old. I think those weights drop down a certain percentage in my age group, but we want to be close to those numbers. I mean, those are my numbers 1 year ago. I'm not sure what my numbers are right now, but there's definitely some heavier lifters. But I'm saying this is what we would need to break top 20 and probably need to be good at other things. Need to be good at gymnastics, handstand walks, rope climbs, ring muscle-ups, bar muscle-ups, pull-ups, handstand push-ups. Some of those things that are really big differentiators when it comes to the tests like the AGOQ or the Open. But yeah, mark those down, Mauricio, and get to those numbers. And they're important to be able to move as far as weightlifting. So, someone who weighs 150 pounds, those are tough numbers. So the ideal CrossFitter height and weight is like, 5'7", 5'8", 190, 195 pounds. There's some heavier guys, and of course, heavier guys can lift heavier. Some lighter guys that have to struggle there, and they have to do much, much better in the other events. I think trying to be in those weights, you can't control your height. Be in those weights, hit those numbers, and you'll be in the hunt right there. Great question, dude. Heat times, Micah. Great question. Do I know heat times for tomorrow? No, they have not posted heat times. For example, in the run, the window is like 9 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm in the 3rd heat of 3 heats. If that helps for the morning, there are 3 heats of men starting at 9 a.m. Not starting at 9 a.m., but right around, it must start at like 9:15 or something like that. I imagine I'm going at 10 or 10:15 Central Time tomorrow. The more detail I have on that, the more I'll post online to make sure that it's just easy to know. But Micah, I know you're here in town. I am in that 3rd heat in the morning. All right. Great question, guys. I've got a couple of questions from Instagram. I'm going to try to stick with the CrossFit ones first, and then I'm going to get to the RV questions, which are also really fun. Love them. So let's start with this one. I'll come back to this one. Andrew has given me some fist bumps and much respect. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I'll answer your question about Colorado as well. All right. I've got a question. The question is, this person is 48 years old and lost motivation. How do you keep motivation? So that's a really good question. For me, keeping motivation is always a work in progress. Like I sort of attach a goal to what I'm doing. I'm always trying to think about in order to stay motivated, I have to have a purpose. I have to have a goal. So for half of the year, my goal is to qualify for the CrossFit Games. As I'm training for the CrossFit Open and then the AGOQ, my goal is to get to the CrossFit Games. And that keeps me motivated, really, really motivated. During the off season, typically the first part of the off season, maybe after the CrossFit Games, or if I didn't make it to the CrossFit Games, I'm frustrated, or in 2018, I got, I didn't do well on some of the heavier events. So I was ready to just jump into heavy lifting and figuring out how to get really good at the game. So I used that as motivation, like almost a sense of failure in 2018 to drive that motivation to work hard. When it comes to this time of the year, I'm just trying to, the motivation for me is competition. I guess that would be a good way to put it, that generally the motivation for me is competition, because I happen to be doing fitness for a sport that I love and that generates fantastic levels of fitness. My initial motivation was also very powerful, and it drove me every day. My initial motivation was that I didn't want to get thick. I didn't want to be unhealthy. My upbringing, my extended family was thick and overweight, and ate really garbage food, and had rough lifestyles. And I didn't. I love them, so I just want to say that in case they're watching. I love them, and they know that that eating a bowl of pretzels every night isn't something that it's going to help you get healthy, right? Or a bowl of M&Ms, whatever it is. I grew up literally almost every night eating like a bowl of M&Ms. And I didn't eat well growing up. So when I was 38, I was afraid that I was going to end up 20, 30 years down the road just being very overweight and very unhealthy. And at 38, I've got little Henry, who's 3 months old. He's 8 now. He's 3 months old, and I'm just thinking, man, I gotta be around for this kid. And then Bennett came 4 years later, and I've got to be around for this kid. So those motivations were pretty strong. Like I look at them and I think, man, I want to be healthy for them. I want to be, same thing with business. Like the reason I don't have a job, and I love being an entrepreneur, is it creates the freedom sometimes for me to just be with them, to go to the pool with them, or to, like I did tonight, or just go on a bike ride or goof around or play with them in the middle of the day, or move into an RV and be able to do this kind of lifestyle with them. So the kids were a big initial motivator. And then I found out that I was good at CrossFit, and that became a big motivation to be good at the competitive level of CrossFit. And if I wasn't competing at a competitive level of CrossFit, I would likely have to find some sort of external motivation, something to hang on to, a competition, a run, a race. Literally after the CrossFit Games, 5 weeks later, I'm going to compete, or I'm going to compete. I won't be competitive, but I will get through a half Ironman triathlon. And that's a new goal. That'll be fun. And then after that, I'll start training for the Legends qualifier or the Legends Championship in December. Always having kind of a target in mind helps me stay motivated. Mauricio asks, and this is great. This is to continue on that question. He asks, how long have I been training, and do I have an athletic background? And I've been training since I was 38. So I'm 45 now. I'll be 46 in October. So it'll be 8 years in October. 4 of the last 8 years, being a contender in the CrossFit Games, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I've been training for 8 years, and I've been training 5 days a week, basically for the last 8 years. I jumped in and I really loved it from the get-go. I haven't taken much time off. My body has been good. I've taken a week off here or there, or 3 weeks off here, for different things, but really I've been consistently training for 8 years. Prior to that, I was a jogger. So I would jog, 15 to 25 miles a week, maybe on the nicest weeks of the year. And then I would get out of shape. I would lose momentum there, and I'd kind of not run for a few months. And then I would get back into running, and I'd run 15, 20 miles a week to deal with anxiety, to try to burn off some calories from the crappy food I was eating. But prior to 38, I did not have an athletic background. I didn't play softball, baseball, football, anything like that as an adult. As a kid, when I was in 7th and 8th grade, I was a gymnast, and I was a pretty competitive gymnast at the time. Actually, I wanted to go to the Olympics, and I wasn't good enough to do that. Even at that age, you needed to have started much, much younger. But I was an okay gymnast, and those movement patterns that I developed in 7th and 8th grade, like I'm 13, 14, 15, even 16 years old, helped translate into some of the movements that I do here in CrossFit, which is pretty handy. I said handy so many times in my unveiling video. Like, I don't even use that word that much. So I'm not going to use that word again. It's so crazy. But I did a lot of gymnastics as a teenager, and some of that was retained. I could still kick up to a handstand at age 38. Couldn't do handstand push-ups, couldn't walk on my hands, could not do a pull-up, could not do a squat below parallel, couldn't do an overhead squat with a PVC pipe. Snatch, clean and jerk, no idea what those were. Ring muscle-ups, bar muscle-ups were just like, I was in awe of the people that could do that. So I started from nothing, absolutely nothing. Yeah, I wish I had video of those days. I wish I had video of what that was like. But I liked it. I really liked it, and I got pretty good pretty quick. It's a funny story. At the CrossFit gym that I started at, the head coach, the owner, was in his 50s, and he was a really fit dude. And he was inspirational to me at the time. And even I'm still an inspiration, but like, I was just blown away at how fit this guy was. So I just wanted to get as good as Keith. And I chased him in every workout. This 50-year-old guy, chased him in every workout. And I remember probably 3 or 4 months into CrossFit, there was a running workout, an 800-meter run and like 30 pull-ups or something. And I was getting pretty good at pull-ups at the time, and maybe 3 rounds of that. But I was also a decent runner. Having come from jogging when I started CrossFit, I considered myself a runner. So I used that as this weird internal motivation. And I remember the first workout I beat Keith in. I beat him in this running pull-up workout, like by 10 seconds or something. And it was amazing. Like literally on a Tuesday morning class, I beat Keith. And that was a game changer for me. He told me that he tried to work out again later that day to try to beat me. And I was like, okay, I like this feeling. Let's chase this. And over time, I started getting better and better and better and beating him in lots more workouts. And that's fair. I was, 12 years younger than him, but I got good fast. And the funny story is that the other guys in the class laughed at me. They were laughing constantly because I was getting good fast. I was really focused. And some of them have been there a little bit longer than me. One guy brought in a urine testing cup. He was like, Jason, I need you to submit a urine test because it's just crazy. So I actually, I took it home with me over the weekend and I put some water with some green, like food coloring in it. So I brought it in the next Monday morning and I was like, hey, Jeff, and I whipped this pea cup full of green water at him. I was like, here you go. And the idea, of course, was to scare him, like as if I'm throwing a cup of pee at him, and two, to make it green so it looked like it was tainted or something. So that was fun. It was all for fun, all for good fun. So yeah, that was it. Since then, I've just found that I'm okay at this. It's taken tremendous amounts of dedication and work to get really good at this. But there was some natural abilities that made it not super hard. Let's see. Hey, Michael Eberson. Yeah, you remember. Thanks for tuning in, Michael. He was a guy that was in the class with me in my 9 a.m. class. Michael Emerson, by the way, Emerson Creative. He designed the logo for the truck, or the design for the truck, the logo for our old gym, 5280 CrossFit. Guy's a champ and a rock star, and just an overall good dude from the UK. So he's also got a pretty amazing accent. All right. Zach Melito asked me, what movement makes me nervous? Still on the CrossFit topic. Snatch makes me nervous. clean and jerk a bit, but mostly snatch. And, I just get spooked sometimes. Think about guys that have gotten injured, snatching really heavy. People who've had major injuries snatching heavy. So I don't like to overly focus on that. In fact, if I remember watching like a fail videos on YouTube or something, if someone's snatching and literally turn my eyes away, I don't want to have that visualization in my head. If I'm by myself in the garage or by myself in the middle of an RV site or campsite or something, I get nervous snatching. I like for things to be kind of perfect when I'm snatching. It's a careful thing, sort of like when I was in gymnastics, the high bar was a little bit scary for me. It takes tremendous amounts of precision to do things well on the horizontal bar. Very dangerous. Timing is everything. It's just like the snatch. The snatch is just like that. Timing is everything. And when you do it just right, the snatch is so damn easy. When you do it wrong, it's just a disaster, right? So hopefully tomorrow, when they announced that one of the workouts is a 1 rep max snatch, like, part of me is like, shit. Okay. Another part of me is like, well, it's competition time. This is the one time to just go big and go hard and give it a go. And it's it's in the Coliseum. There's going to be a crowd. There's going to be good bar, Olympic plates. Like the stage is set for a good snatch. And so if there's any place to go ahead and snatch heavy or snatch well, it's there, as opposed to alone in my garage or alone in an RV park somewhere. So nothing else scares me. Nothing else scares me. Even heavy clean and jerks. So just, I get a little nervous to drop under the bar on a clean, but the snatch is definitely my highest fear movement, for sure. Good question. All right. Art Erickson asks, can I talk about working out with a training partner versus training on my own? And how that's, let's see, and fit training into a lifestyle. The balance is hard. Thank you. So I've had training partners in the past, and I've worked out solo, mostly solo, much more time solo than with partners. And one of the challenges for me has been that I haven't ever had a training partner that was at my level, or doing what I was doing. I've had a couple of guys, I had a coach at my gym who was a guy that he would go out hot on every workout. He would just sandblast the initial start of a workout, and I would keep up with him, which was awesome. And then he would die on round 2 or round 3, and I would just keep going, right? And so we always joked that really I need to do the first round by myself and then have Mike jump in on the second round, and he could just explode. I could try to keep up with him, and then maybe have someone else jump in on the third round. Another friend of mine, Nick, really great training partner, really loved working out with him. When we were training together, he was training to be a pilot. So we had this flexible schedule, all of that. It was really, really fun times. So I guess to answer the question is, I enjoy working with a training partner. I think about my time working out with Nick, and it was really fun. He pushed me a lot when he was really, really going for it. He's 15 years younger than me, so he could give me a good push. But generally, people didn't have the flexibility in the schedules that I had. And when I was training hard, I owned a gym, so I could manage my schedule there. Then when I sold the gym, I could work out whenever I wanted because I was moving into an online business. And now in an RV, it's even easier. Like my rower is right here. If I want to row right now, I could just tip this over and start rowing or biking or ski or barbell. It's not hard to set up and get going. So I think if you had a training partner that was on par with you and you had similar schedules, the camaraderie is great. Think about like Matt and Tia, maybe a perfect scenario for training partners. This is their life. Given female, male weights, fittest in the world, perfect. So that's probably the only scenario that's absolutely perfect. Otherwise, I love the camaraderie of training with others, but when it comes down to it, I like my flexibility. I like to choose to work out at 9 a.m. one day, 11 a.m. another day, 1 p.m. another day, do 2 sessions some days. So finding the balance between work and life is challenging as well. But for me, I tend to thrive when I'm really busy. So at one point we were selling a house, buying an RV, running a business, training for the games. It was a little much, but I was thriving with that workload on my plate. I love that kind of stuff. So right now, as we've been traveling to Madison, it's been travel, train, document, edit, share on YouTube, all that stuff. I love big workloads like that. So, I just love working hard. And at the same time, cutting out time to play with the kids and hang out and whatever, it's all slightly imbalanced. It'll be imbalanced towards working out as I lead up to the games. Sometimes it'll be imbalanced on, a passion like the YouTube channel, or a passion like, building another one of my training programs. When I'm building something new, I just dive into it. I get slightly imbalanced into it. Then sometimes if I'm like taking it easy, which will be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend, I'll be slightly imbalanced on I'm going to have a couple of beers, a couple of Bud Lights at the games and just be a spectator. Just enjoy that. Have some cheese curds. I'll get pretty imbalanced on that side. Next week, start training for a triathlon. So I'll get imbalanced in that way. And with that, I just have a support system around me that works well with that. So, all right, let's see. I'm going to answer more questions about the RV. I'm going to stick with CrossFit, then I'm going to go to the RV because I love the RV questions too. All right, have your ollie lifts and handstand walks been easier during your recent training boxes because of all the hamstring training you've done? Mike Singh asked if ollie lifting handstand walks inside of a box has been easier since I've been training on uneven pavement in unideal situations. Yes, absolutely. It's amazing. I just think the other day I was at Big Dane CrossFit. And I was snatching on a lifting platform, and I was building up to a slightly heavy snatch, and slightly 195 is a heavy snatch for me, and I hit 185 and it was like butter, and I hit 195 and I was like, don't jinx it. I'm good. Confidence is through the roof because this like hard surface, nice bar. It was amazing. And handstand walking, please let there be handstand walking at the games. I don't care where or how, but like handstand walking on even surface, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's a piece of cake. Michael, how am I balancing everything? Carefully. And like I said, imbalanced day to day, imbalanced leaning towards training one day, imbalanced on the computer another day, imbalanced with just shutting everything down on some days. So it's hard. I mean, as you can imagine, I know you're a dad, you've got a family, and you work hard. That's hard. Michael Emerson, who am I most excited to meet and watch compete over the weekend? Oh man, what I'm excited about is getting through the games and then being a fan, like enjoying watching the elite athletes. So I'm really excited to watch Justin Medeiros. I met him in person this week. Great guy. What you see is what you get with that kid. Like happy-go-lucky kid with a mullet. He's that way, like in person. Just he's exactly the guy you see on TV. And Haley Adams, like I'm a huge fan. I think she's got so much potential. I don't think she can beat Tia, and that's fine. But man, I'd like to see her come in second. But I think it's going to be really fun, a really fun CrossFit Games to watch. So mother-in-law is coming into town Friday night, and we're going to go and watch some of these events in person. It's going to be really, really, really fun. So yeah, besides, I'm going to have to rewatch the YouTube videos of me working out. I never get to see myself in that competition setting. So this will be really fun. Michael asked me, what do I do in my downtime? Right now, I'm watching Breaking Bad for the third time. And I started it like 2 weeks ago when I got sick from a COVID shot. I started it and I'm almost done. Like I have like 4 episodes left. So in my downtime, I binge watch things. I really love binge watching through things. I'll probably finish Breaking Bad, jump into Better Call Saul and watch that for the second time. I just love stuff like that. Like I'll binge watch Gordon Ramsay. But I like to binge watch. I like binge watching things. Sitting back, feet up, just chilling out. Zach Melito asked me if I create my own programming or if I follow a plan, a mix of both. I primarily follow Mayhem. I used to follow CompTrain, switched to Mayhem last fall. Their competitor track for Masters athletes is appropriate for me and my lifestyle, my ability to do 2-a-day trainings. I would love to say that I promote my own training, but I don't. I can train others. but I really have a hard time training myself because I tend to end up favoring movements that I'm good at and not working on things that I'm not so good at. So I pretty much just follow a program. So right now I'm following Mayhem, and it's been great. Really enjoyed it. Appreciate those guys. Oh my gosh, great question. Mauricio, do I think the games will be moved to a different country? Probably not. Um, there are so many North American athletes that come to the games that I don't see them moving, especially with headquarters here. I don't see them moving this entire logistical operation to another country. You know, if this happened every 4 years, that would make some sense, or every 2 years, that makes some sense. Every year, that would be really, really tough. I mean, it'd be cool to go to Brazil or China or something like that. Those are big markets for CrossFit. But their biggest market is still here, I think. So I don't think they'll do that in the next 10 years. Maybe beyond that. Maybe they'll have to do multiple. I don't know. Yeah, good question. Let's see. Oh, man. Okay. Great question, Michael Emerson. Okay, let's see. What was my prediction for the top 5 men, top 5 women in the elite category? Top 5 men. That new Jason guy. What's his last name? I just watched him. The Buttery Bros were just hanging out with him. He won the Mid-Atlantic Classic. He beat Justin Medeiros. So that guy, I think he may have the goods. I think he might have it. I think he's going to win. I think Medeiros, Jason Hopper. Yeah, thanks, guys. Jason Hopper. I think I'm going to say him, Medeiros, Olsen, Travis Mayer. There's so many good guys. Chandler Smith may sneak in there in the top 5. Boy, it's tough. Gosh, it's really hard, guys. I know I'm going to be missing a bunch of guys there, but I think Hopper may have it. I kind of like Medeiros. I thought he was super fun last year, so I'd like to see him. So maybe I'm hoping. Oh shoot, Panchek. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna put Panchek in top 5. I'll just say top 5. I don't know where he's going to be. He's going to be top 5 for sure. Vellner, shoot, guys. Okay, I'm done with this. On the female side, it goes Tia, Haley, Mallory is going to be in the top 5. And 2 other girls. Katrin will probably sneak up there. And maybe Brooke. And maybe 10 other girls I'm not even thinking of. Oh my gosh. Oh, so tough. So tough. Okay, great question. Let me see. All right. I'm going to take a quick look at my Instagram, guys, real quick. All right. From Instagram, one of the questions was, what happened to the occupational games this year? Do they not go to Madison? They don't go to Madison. The occupational games is a virtual competition. Really cool, but it's strictly virtual. Colorado question, some long-term plans with the RV life. Okay, jumping in really quick, guys, to the Cara Saunders. Yeah. Cara Saunders is probably going to be top 5 too. There's probably going to be about 15 females in the top 5 somehow, all on that line. They're all going to be right there. How fun is this going to be? It'll be super fun. So you got to watch us Masters guys first, so that we can get lots of views, and they can continue coverage in the future. And then, man, we just all dump in and watch the elite athletes. Question came up. What's one thing I miss about Colorado? Dry air. Definitely miss dry air. It's been really hot. Wyoming, Montana was really hot. Once we got to Bismarck and started heading over here through Minnesota, and it's humid. And this is not something that I'm used to. Very humid. So I miss dry air, cold nights, miss those things. But it's pretty hot in Colorado right now. So I miss the cool nights of the fall in Colorado. 5-year plan, or how long do we plan on living in this RV? Not sure. Starting with the RV question, how long do we stay in this thing? Not sure, but way beyond now. We've enjoyed the past 2 months a lot, and it's been really nice to go from 2,500 square feet to 300 square feet of space, from managing a large house with a yard and all of those things down to just whatever's in here. This is it. Wherever we go is home. And that's been really fun. Of course, it does kind of like training. It's fun to have a purpose and a reason. So we're here, and then we'll find our way back to Colorado by September 11th for a triathlon. And then we're going to head down south and find ourselves by the Gulf Coast just in time for hurricane season. Not because of hurricanes, but just to chase 70 degrees down south. Stay warm through the fall. Be back in Colorado for the holidays. And then down into, Arizona, Southern California in the winter. So those are kind of the short-term plans, but the RV life, man, as long as we can keep this rig running, keep things running smoothly in here, because it's been a really enjoyable experience. The kids get to explore so much stuff. We've learned so much about just the places we've been to. Like, wow, it's been amazing. I can't believe that we were in Bismarck like 2 weeks ago. It was that long ago. I can't believe we hung out at a lake in Wisconsin last week. The lake was the largest lake in any state and surrounded by a state, if that makes sense. The Great Lakes have multiple states, but this lake was like 28 miles long and 7 miles wide. Like that, being able to see these things is amazing. We haven't even scratched the surface of, and then having a purpose. So we'll continue to create purpose and meaning through burnout, and we'll head back, or somewhere. Not sure where, but we'll see where that goes. 5-year plan. Really great question on the 5-year plan. I tend to struggle to make plans that are more than a year in advance or 6 months in advance. But 5-year plan is to continue to support and build a community and a business that helps support men getting healthy, particularly dads. I tell guys right now, I help thick dads get healthy. It's as simple as that. And, beyond that could be maybe dads that want to compete, dads that want to do some more intensive things beyond just getting fit. Like that's all cool. And I'd love to be a part of that and mentor that and help guys with that. But I'd love for that to be a big, big experience. Like I want to be building a cause. I want to be building a large community of ditch the dad bod style dudes that used to look like this. Now they look like this and now they feel good. So that's what we're going for is just to make dads better. And I want to do that 5 years from now. I'd love to have, hundreds of thousands of people, dads that have gone through a transformation. And I've been a part of that inspiration. They've got to do it themselves. So that's where I want to go. 5 years from now, Henry will be 13, Bennett will be 9. Hopefully we'll still be on the road because that would be great. The truck should last millions of miles, fingers crossed. All right. Let's go back to a couple of, let's see. I want to finish. I think there was one more RV question. And then I'm going to answer just a couple more questions before I run out of light. It's getting dark out here. This is a good question. What was the hardest adjustment I've made in my transition to RV life? The hardest transition, less downtime. In the RV life, there's always something to do. There's dishes to wash, dogs to walk, laundry to do, although I don't do the laundry, but it's being done all the time. Hoses to drain, things to fix. I fixed a toilet earlier this week like a champ, or last week. I was super excited to fix this toilet. To have a toilet that's not working and then have it work, it was miraculous. I fixed it. I fixed it with my own hands, with gloves on, obviously. So it's little things like that. Like there's always something to kind of work on or fix or organize or put away or clean up in an RV. And that it's the same at home. It's just that you don't notice it as much at home until it's like you got to just do a massive cleanup. Here, you just kind of have to do that every day. So Michael Emerson had a great question. He thinks no one can touch me in my division. That said, who am I watching out for in my new division? Freaking everyone, guys. Dude, there's a lot of good guys in my division. And it all depends on the workouts. But, Mike Kern and Jeremiah Head are two taller guys in my division. Taller as in like 5'11". Jeremiah might be 6 feet tall. Jeremiah is a good runner. I ran against him at an event in December, And he beat me by 1 calorie on an 8-minute run for calories on the assault. He beat me by 1 calorie, so I can keep up with him. But he's historically a runner, so I'm keeping an eye on him. Mike Kern is just a general all-around grunt work guy. The guy can just kind of get stuff done. So I've got an eye on him. There's going to be the guy that won the AGOQ is from Italy, and he's an amazing Olympic lifter. He will lift very heavy tomorrow on the snatch. So I'm not worried about trying to beat him on the snatch. He'll win. He'll win the snatch. He was a former Olympic lifter. And I'm blanking on another guy that I've got on my watch list. I can only think of his face. He has a beard. We all have beards. But it's going to be a hard division. There's nothing easy about any of this stuff. And these guys are all uniquely gifted. And with 20 guys, there's going to be guys that are good at different things. And so winning events is going to be tremendously difficult over the next 3 days. It'll be really hard to win events. So I'm going to do my best. But it's going to be hard. Keep your eyes open. These guys are all tough. They're all very, very tough. Yeah. Thanks for the good luck, Michael. I appreciate it. Guys, great questions. Okay, I'm gonna take this as the last question before I run out of light, because you can still see me, but I feel like I'm like sneaking in. I feel like I'm in secret here. All right. Mauricio asks, as a master's athlete, am I able to get some partnerships or sponsors? Not yet. I think that's coming. I'm working hard on it, and I really want to see. I want to see master's athletes get sponsored. I would like to be one of them, just for the sake of like representing us with these big brands. So I've had conversations with the team that puts together sponsorships for all the major athletes. You know, Loud and Live are the guys that do that. I've had conversations with those guys. The challenge is it's got the chicken before the egg. You know, if they were to take me and promote me, sponsor me. Let's say NoBull sponsors me. I'm the first sponsored NoBull athlete. Let's call that master's athlete. You know, I have 6,000 followers on Instagram. That's not really a big following for them to care about. Now, if they sponsored me, my following would jump by 100,000 people. And now I would have a following. It would just kind of be something that happens like that. So it's like a chicken before the egg sort of thing. So what I'm just trying to do is make myself as helpful and inspirational, as meaningful as I can to the people that do follow me right now. And if that ends up turning into something that a large company like NoBull or someone else is interested in, that's great. That's awesome. I don't want to need them in any way, any of the sponsors. I think it would be really great to have a master's athletes up on the Coliseum. Like, it would be awesome to be up on that Coliseum with the other athletes, just to represent guys with gray hair who used to be thick, you know, because we're a special breed, all of you. And the guys that are in my age group, like, these are guys, you know, we've all got responsibilities. We've got families. We can't train full time. We're not in our 20s. We have to sleep well. We have to eat well. We have to not hurt ourselves. And to do all of that is, you know, takes tremendous amounts of dedication, as much dedication as the elite athletes who are doing this full time. So I think it'd be cool. And so fingers crossed, let's all send emails out. Just say, hey, let's get some masters athletes sponsored by Reebok or Nike or NoBull, or, you know, some of the other brands that are quite as huge as those. Like, I think that would be really, really cool. So with all that said, guys, and I appreciate you tuning in. And as soon as I know all of the specific times that I get to go over the next 3 days, 7 events, hopefully, if I make the cut on the last day, I'll get 7 events. You can watch on games.crossfit.com, CrossFit's Facebook page, a number of things. Just look on social media, look at CrossFit, follow them on Instagram. They'll share everything. I'm the third heat for the first event tomorrow, which starts at 9 a.m. Central Time. So I'll probably kick off at 10 or 10:15 in that 4.5 mile run. Not a sexy event, but I'll push it, guys. I'll make for a show as I try to chase down anyone who's in front of me. And the other events, as soon as I know my specific heat time, I'll post that online. And again, I'm super grateful for you guys. Thanks for tuning in to the first Q&A. I'll do more of these in the future. Oh, and while we're at it, and tell all your friends. We've got our subscriber count is going up, and that's awesome. It helps support the channel. The more subscribers we have, the more watch hours, supports the channel, helps support this entire cause. All right, guys, see you soon.